Welcome back to AI Café Conversations where new science meets AI for executive. I'm Sahar, your AI whisperer. Here is a question I have been sitting with in a world racing toward automation. What happens to compassion? This is your extra flavor coffee of the week on Friday's podcast. I learned the answer for this question years ago in the middle of an organizational storm. My team was exhausted, uncertain, and scared. One of them, usually full of light, walked into my office one day. Her energy dimmed. I paused, looked up, and simply asked, "How are you feeling?" That moment changed everything. It reminded me that leadership is not just about decisions, it's about presence. And neuroscience proves it. When leaders connect with empathy, the brain releases oxytocin, trust rises, and performance follows. Today, we will explore how AI does not erase that humanity, it amplifies it. How AI for executives can become a quiet ally in leading with compassion, not replacing connection, but creating more space for it. So let me share with you in a minute the conversation, and then I will be back to close the episode.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something that feels, well, like a bit of a paradox, right? It's this relationship between artificial intelligence and compassion and leadership.
Yeah, most people automatically think they're opposites, technology versus humanity, a zero-sum game.
Exactly. But the sources we're looking at today, they paint a really different picture, almost radically different. We're diving into how AI might actually become, believe it or not, an ally, a powerful one for real human connection at work.
That's the mission here. We want to get you, the listener, thinking beyond just, the fear of automation. How can you actually use these advanced AI tools strategically? How can they help you lead with more empathy, more focus?
Focusing on what the sources call the human side of leadership, which they argue is absolutely non-negotiable.
Right. This isn't just about keeping up with AI. It's about leveraging it so you can actually thrive as a leader, be more present, more compassionate, more effective, really.
And the central idea, it's actually quite elegant when you break it down, maybe a bit surprising. AI is basically a resource multiplier. That's the core argument. It's built to handle those complex, repetitive, data-heavy tasks, the stuff that just drains you.
And by taking that huge administrative weight off your shoulders, the sources say it essentially buys back your most valuable asset.
Your time.
Well, yes, but more specifically, your mental energy, your cognitive space.
Okay. So it frees up your brain power to shift from processing endless data to actually leading people, connecting with them.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we dig into how the mechanics of AI doing this, let's really nail down what we mean by compassionate leadership, or CL. The forces are really clear. This isn't some soft skill, some nice to have.
No, they frame it as foundational. It goes way beyond just strategy or intellect.
It's defined more by deep understanding, connection, really prioritizing the team's well-being.
Right. Absolutely. Their well-being, their growth, and that crucial sense of belonging. Those three things.
Okay, so to make this tangible, the sources share an anecdote. Is it the Bella story?
That's the one. Yeah, it really grounds the concept. So Bella, she's usually this really upbeat team member, lots of positive energy, but one day the leader notices something's off. Just a subtle shift.
Like what?
Low energy, slumped posture, just sort of a quiet sadness about her. It wasn't something a performance dashboard would flag,
Right, it's a human observation. It requires presence.
Exactly. And instead of just rushing off to the next meeting or focusing on some tactical goal, the leader actually stopped. They just paused, offered a genuine moment, no distractions, took the time to really listen.
And Bella opened up.
Yeah. She was dealing with a tough personal issue, but because her leader created that safe space, she felt seen, supported, instantly.
That deliberate act of slowing down, of just paying attention. That's the core of it.
It really is. It shifts leadership from just managing tasks to actually mentoring people. Connection.
Okay, this is interesting. The sources then take it a step further. They claim compassion isn't just, the right thing to do. They call it a neurological advantage. That sounds pretty significant.
Oh, it absolutely is. This is where the science really backed it up, and it's fascinating. The sources point to neuroscience research showing our brains are literally wired for empathy, for connection, for cooperation.
hardwired for it.
Pretty much. So when leaders act with compassion, they're actually triggering positive neural responses in their team members. Measurable ones.
Like what kind of responses?
We're talking about things like oxytocin release. You know, the hormone associated with trust, with bonding.
So it's not just a feeling, it's actual brain chemistry changing. Physiological.
Precisely. When you lead with compassion, make people feel psychologically safe, you're basically boosting the brain's capacity for trust and collaboration.
And when trust goes up?
Performance goes up. Teams are more willing to take smart risks. They solve problems faster, more creatively. Why? Because they're not stuck in survival mode, operating out of fear.
So the source material really frames CL as high-performance fuel.
Definitely. It cuts down on that internal friction, gets everyone's brains sort of aligned towards the shared goals. It fundamentally upgrades the team's operating system.
Wow. Okay, so that deep need for connection, both instinctively and neurologically, that sets up the big challenge for leaders today, doesn't it? We know we should be present, like in the Bella story, but the reality, the sheer pace, the demands, they just crush our ability to maintain that deep connection.
It's relentless.
It makes it so easy to miss those subtle cues, like Bella's posture, when your brain is just overloaded.
Totally overloaded. And the sources list the culprits, right? The specific things draining that bandwidth needed for presence.
Like what? Drowning in spreadsheets.
Exactly. Drowning in spreadsheets, trying to digest mountains of data before a meeting, wading through endless email threads, manually pulling together reports. It's all this heavy, often low-value cognitive lifting. It burns you out mentally before you even get a chance to, engage your empathy.
So it's not necessarily that leaders lack compassion.
Often not. It's that they're just cognitively exhausted by all the admin. There's no space left.
Okay, but here's where I imagine some listeners pushing back. And, fair enough. How can AI, this logical data crunching thing, help me be more empathetic? Isn't there a risk?
What kind of risk?
Well, relying on tech for all this admin, doesn't that create more distance? If I'm just seeing the AI's summary, am I losing context? Am I just trusting the machine's interpretation?
That is a really important point, a critical challenge, actually. And the sources tackle it directly. They admit right away, AI can't replicate the human touch. It can't understand emotional nuance or the history of a relationship.
I don't have a heart.
Exactly. It can't feel empathy. But the argument is the power of modern AI lies in its ability to filter the noise.
Filtering. That's the key word here.
I think so. We need to shift our perspective. Stop seeing AI as a potential replacement for the leader. Instead, frame it as a very sophisticated partner, a strategic data partner. So when we delegate those repetitive, number-heavy tasks, the sifting, the summarizing, the forecasting, we're basically ensuring the human leader gets just the synthesized intelligence, enough to make a decision that considers both the data and the human element. The machine handles the scale, the complexity.
And the human applies the empathy.
Yeah.
The wisdom.
Precisely. Human in the loop, but not bogged down by the weeds.
All right, let's get really practical then. How does this actually work on the ground? We talk about freeing up EQ, emotional intelligence, but AI is a tool. So what are the actual mechanisms? How does it amplify empathy? How does it create that space?
It really comes down to advanced information processing. Let's take an example the sources might use. Imagine preparing for a big all-hands meeting. Normally, a leader might spend, hours? Maybe a full day?
Easily. Compiling research, looking at metrics from different departments, trying to build a narrative.
Right. 8 hours, let's say, manually generating insights for the presentation. Now, AI, especially things like LLMs or advanced analytics platforms, they change that whole game. Well, instead of you spending 8 hours, the AI ingests all those performance metrics. It analyzes thousands of customer feedback comments. It summarizes 50 different internal reports, maybe flags, critical dips in employee engagement scores.
And it does this quickly.
Very quickly. So the leader walks into that prep phase, maybe spends 30 minutes reviewing a concise summary. Key risks, key opportunities, all laid out.
30 minutes versus 8 hours, that's huge.
Yeah.
But how does saving time automatically translate to more empathy?
Because that saved time isn't just empty time. It represents reclaimed cognitive resources, mental energy.
Ah, okay. The bandwidth we talked about.
Exactly. So when you walk into that important meeting or even just pass someone in the hallway later that day, your mind isn't still churning through data points you need to analyze or stressing about the report you didn't finish.
You're actually present.
You're present. Your full mental bandwidth is available. You can read the room. You can focus on the actual people, notice their nonverbal cues, listen actively, process their individual needs, not just tick off agenda items.
And circling back to Bella, This makes that anecdote really click. If that leader had been mentally drowning in spreadsheet formulas or report deadlines right before seeing her,
They would have walked right past. Or given a quick, distracted, hi!
their observational capacity would have been shot. They'd missed the slumped shoulders, the quietness, missed that crucial moment for connection.
Absolutely. Spotting that quiet sadness or subtle disengagement, it requires a certain calmness, available focus. AI cleans up the operational clutter so effectively that it gives leaders the psychological freedom to actually notice.
So the AI doesn't say, hey, Bella seems down.
No, not at all. But by handling the data grunt work, it allows the human leader's own empathy and observation skills to come to the surface. It enables you to notice Bella looks sad.
Okay, so the synthesis here is really quite powerful. AI isn't replacing the human element.
No, it's acting as a catalyst for it.
It enables, even amplifies our own human ability to connect, to empathize, to lead with real kindness.
It provides the sort of technological scaffolding needed for leaders to genuinely show up, day after day.
The sources seem to end on a pretty hopeful note then. A vision for the future.
Yeah, a compelling one. They suggest the future isn't technology versus humanity, it's harmony. It's sophisticated tools and deep human empathy working together, supporting each other.
It's about letting go of the administrative burdens that, let's be honest, humans aren't really designed for anyway.
Exactly. That's not where our unique value lies.
So the core message for you, listening, seems pretty clear.
Yeah, identify where you're burning that precious cognitive energy on repetitive data tasks. Synthesis, reporting, compiling.
And delegate that to the machine.
Yeah.
Let AI handle the logic, the patterns in the data.
So you can focus on the relationships, the meaning, the heart. AI won't steal your humanity.
If you use it right, it actually helps you rediscover it.
Leaders need to recognize that their true power isn't just crunching numbers. It's interpreting what those numbers mean for their people and then applying that understanding with wisdom, with care. That's the irreplaceable human part.
Which leaves us with a final thought. Something provocative, maybe, building on this. Think about your own work week, your last, say, 40 hours. How much of that time was spent on tasks an algorithm could probably handle? Compilation, summarizing, calculating. And maybe more importantly, what human conversation, what moment of connection, what chance for compassionate leadership might you have missed?
Missed because your mental energy was tied up in admin the machine could have done.
Yeah, that's the challenge, isn't it? How do you start leveraging AI today to make space for that future? A future where leadership is both highly intelligent and profoundly compassionate. One decision, one conversation at a time.
Today's Forbes edition of AI Conversations, brought to you by Sahar, your AI whisperer. Remember, AI is not your competitor, it's your collaborator. Let's take on the tasks that drain your time so you can focus on what truly drives performance. Empathy, trust, and human connection. Human-centered AI. The future of AI for executive isn't about losing our humanity or your humanity. It's about leading with more of it. Thank you for listening. Show me some love. Like it, register to it, subscribe to it, share it. This with a leader who's learning to balance technology and compassion. And join me next week in our usual Wednesday episode as we keep building the bridge between neuroscience, leadership, and AI. Till we meet again.
1